All right, good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to the PreStream podcast. I am Darkside Phil, and I welcome you here to the show. Today is Friday, the 13th. And so we're going to be playing Friday the 13th today on stream. Oh, wait. That's right. They lost the rights to the game, so we're not doing that. No. Anyway, today is May 13th, 2022. Hello, I'm Darkside Phil, of course, and I welcome you here to my daily podcast. We've got an interesting combination of stuff to talk about today. We've got some multiple news stories. I've got some updates for all of you in regards to how everything is currently going, in regards to the planning of my upcoming marathon tomorrow. If you can believe it, it's tomorrow. I swear to God, time flies, because it certainly didn't feel to me like it was going to be that soon. And then all of a sudden, here we are, it's tomorrow. Yeah, that soon. So we're going to talk about the marathon tomorrow, some of the voting that's going on, and the events that'll take place during it. Some updates, because I do have a few updates in regards to my setup and everything today that we have to change a little bit. After a few days of testing, some stuff ended up sadly not working out, and I want to give you guys an update on that. We got a lot to talk about today. Hope you guys are feeling cool and chill and ready for a fun podcast. Of course, today also is the return of Skyrim Anniversary Edition as a main gameplay stream, at least for now. It's not necessarily going to stay a main gameplay stream permanently, maybe a week or two, because there really are no major high-profile game releases coming out in the next couple of weeks, and so we basically need something as a daytime stream that will have some kind of pull or heft, you know what I mean? And also, be honest, a game that needs more time. We are over 100 hours into the Skyrim Anniversary Edition playthrough. We haven't finished the first DLC yet. There's another major one coming, and there's still a lot of major story developments we haven't done in the game. Potentially, this game is on pace to almost likely be my longest playthrough ever. I guess it might be between this and Persona 5. I mean, Elden Ring was 122 hours, but already Skyrim is over 100, and we still have another DLC, and we have more content in the game. I predict this may be upwards of like 150 hours, depending on how long it takes, right? And so, it makes sense that at least now, when there's no big new releases coming out, it makes sense to play this game more and get further into it, so that way this is not a playthrough that we're still doing in December. No, seriously, like the rate we're going, it's May, and we're 100 hours in, right? Do we really want to be playing this in October, November, and we're 200 hours in? See what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, we got a lot to talk about on today's PreStream podcast. Where should we start? I guess what we'll do, let's touch upon some of the stuff that's been going on this week, and I have some updates for you guys in regards to some of that. So first of all, earlier this week was supposed to be the launch of the beta for gifted memberships here on YouTube. Major YouTubers advertised it as such, basically alluding to the fact that this was going to go live. So everyone was excited, only to find out it's only for major YouTubers, like giant people with millions of views. Normal YouTubers didn't get it. In fact, almost no one got it. It was for a very small select few. So why it was advertised? Because they wanted to make more fucking money, because they were going to have the opportunity to make more, and no one else does. Everybody else who wants it had to apply through an online form. Well, I did. I haven't heard back, and I have no idea if or when YouTube will ever accept my application and give me gifted memberships. If and when it happens, I'll let you know. But right now, we have no updates. Okay? Now, another major change and thing that we were excited for this week is that I told you guys I was going to do some major improvements to the streams, but I didn't really tell you what it was. Well, as you can see, we have a new overlay, completely different from the old one, and this overlay can now change color dependent on what game I'm playing or however I feel. So, for example, some games I've done blue, red, green, and this orangish, yellowish gold, and we can change them on the fly, okay? Overall feedback so far is good. People seem to like the new overlays. They're not very intrusive. If I take a look over here, and I show you what it looks like with gameplay again. So here's the, well, actually, you know what? This was pointless because I have the Skyrim overlay today. Well, that was a failed experiment. I wanted to show you the border, but there's no point. I'm not using it for Skyrim. But anyway, people seem to like it. Okay. And I'm happy about that, and I'm glad that you guys like it too. And I like the fact that we can have variety depending on what game I play. I can kind of pick a different color, or even if I change my mind, I can have a different color, which is nice. Okay? Now, however, there was one fail this week, an attempt at improving stuff that did not work, and I want to update everyone on that because as of last night, I decided to stop doing it, okay? One thing that people have asked me for over the years, since I became a full-time live streamer and used Facecam on every single stream, is to upgrade the quality of my webcam. And they're like, well, what quality can your webcam do right now? I said, well, it could go all the way up to 1080p. That's what you're looking at right now. This is 1080p video that the webcam is pumping out. Now, you might say, well, I don't understand because it looks kind of blurry. You're right. This webcam is very, very small. To give you perspective, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that is the size of the lens. It's smaller than my nostril. It's smaller than one of my teeth. The lens is tiny on this webcam, and this is a webcam that I've used for over a decade, okay? It's obviously outdated. And there's definitely better options out there. Today, most content creators who do this full-time don't even use a webcam. They buy a high-definition camcorder or camera, and they use that to live stream through their PC. When I started all this, I wanted to do that, and 10 years ago, guess what? That capability didn't exist. I wanted to have a camera stream through my PC. None of them did that at that time. Now they all do, okay? So, over the years, people always said, Phil, why don't you use your full quality video for your face cam? Why do you only do a low-res 480p blurry video when you do face cam when you're doing gameplay? To which my answer was always twofold. Number one, you likely won't see the difference because my webcam is not a great one. And number two, because my computer dramatically increases its CPU use when it implements higher resolution webcam video. To give you an example, right now we have absolutely no gameplay on the screen, right? None. All we have is a border that's not moving, an overlay that's very, very, basic, and my camera. Right now, my CPU use is at 47.1%. Yeah, pumping this 1080p video, even as blurry as it is, pumping this 1080p video through my setup dramatically taxes the CPU, okay? So now, if I'm doing 1080p video for the gameplay at 60 frames per second, and then I'm pumping a 1080p webcam over said gameplay, you're stacking two very big processor hogs on each other, and what ends up happening is in games that have a lot of action, for example, Halo Infinite, or in reality, any first-person game, because any first-person game is going to have maximum movement when you're walking around the world. It's not set camera angles and solid frames. It's constantly moving, right? Any first-person game basically pushes my processor to the max. And what ends up happening is if I have the 1080p video going with the 1080p webcam, boom, it maxes out and you get frame rate drops, okay? Now, people have been bugging me for years to do this and upgrade the webcam. I'm like, listen, there's no point in buying a new webcam or camera when I know my CPU would be maxed out if I even tried it, okay? But after years of urging me, I said, since we're already instituting changes this week, on Wednesday, I said, let's try it. Let's do 1080p webcam. So I did three streams with 1080p webcam. Guess how many streams had frame droppage that everyone noticed and complained about? 3 streams. Every single game I played experienced the major frame drops, and everyone was upset about it. So, what can you do, right? So, I've decided, ultimately, it's not worth it. Ultimately, we're just going to stick to the 480p webcam. If and when this year I hopefully can upgrade my setup to have a better PC that can maybe handle things better. Likely the encoding would be different. It probably wouldn't be taxing the CPU. Maybe it could go through a dedicated GPU. Then we could do it that way. Right now, all I have is an external capture device that's capturing the game video. That's it. I don't have a dedicated GPU installed in the computer here of any high end. I don't. So without a high-end dedicated GPU, I'm probably always going to run into these bottleneck issues. So I need to have a PC that's much better, okay? So, that being said, we'll see what happens. Now, in regards to that, a minor update, but not a major one yet. I said that I wanted to upgrade my PC, okay? And I've said that people last year contacted me and were interested in possibly contributing to having the PC upgraded, whether it was donating parts or donating cash or actually buying a whole pre-built PC, all right? So far, I've talked to one person who last year was interested in helping, and they said they actually do have a few components they may be able to donate, but I said, hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I have to get to a point where we're ready to do this, and then I could talk with my audience. We can determine exactly what it is I'm looking in it for in a PC and go from there. There's two options. Either get all the parts separate and try to build the thing myself, which could be a fucking disaster, to be honest, or buy a pre-built. All right? There's actually pros and cons, obviously. The pros of buying it yourself and building it, it's going to be way cheaper, obviously. I'll be able to have exactly the components that I want inside of it with no shortcomings or no, what do they call? Compromises. I'll be able to just get exactly what I want, okay? And that's a good thing, obviously. I know from when I used to build my own PC, you save money building your own PC, and you get exactly what you want in it, okay? However, what's the downside? The downside is, number one, I haven't built a PC in so long that likely I'm going to run into issues not knowing what I'm doing, and or I'm more worried about the software side of things than the hardware. Like, the hardware is pretty much plug everything in and play, right? You know, oh, RAM goes here, oh, processor goes here, this goes here, plug it all in, turn it on. My problem is I haven't built a PC in so long, who knows if it'll all work together, and if there's trouble with anything, I'm probably not going to be able to fix it myself. And that's a major concern, okay? And the other thing, of course, is the cost. Because right now, the cost of components, for some components at least, is sky high. Now, that may change. As you guys know, the crypto market is currently tanking. Cryptocurrency in the last couple of days is basically bottoming out, and everyone's losing all their money who had money in the market, which is pretty crazy to think some people made millions of dollars in the last year and just lost it all. Damn. So that being said, maybe the demand for GPUs will now be negligible. No one will want them anymore, and maybe we'll see a flip where instead of a GPU costing $500, $600, it'll be $100. That could be excellent, right? And then it might be the right time to just buy the components. I don't know. Really, buying the components separately has been a huge roadblock in me building my own PC because I know that they're going to be super pricey, you see? Now, the other option would be buying a pre-built, okay? So what are the pros and cons of buying a pre-built? The pros of buying the pre-built are as follows. It comes in working condition. Literally just turn the damn thing on and plug everything in and it should be working, okay? And that will allow me to focus more on doing my software setup here, like actually saying, okay, I got a new PC working already. Let's just jump right into OBS and let's do some customization of scenes and let's do this and that and focus on that, as opposed to, oh, I got to build this thing from scratch. I got to get every piece of thing working. I got to load all the drivers. I got to do this. I got to do that. Troubleshooting. It's like work on top of work, you see? So basically, the pre-built saves me a lot of time and hassle, all right? However, pre-builts absolutely cost way more than buying your own components and building it yourself. I think we all know that. There's a huge profit for those companies that they charge you. And a lot of the times you do have to compromise. You're not going to get exactly what you want. Perfect example, this PC I'm using right now that I've now used for almost 8 years, right? When I got it, well, my hair will not stay today. Look at this stupid thing. This thing will not stay in place. It's just really being annoying. When I pre-built this PC, because this is a pre-built that I'm using right now, I said I want this component, this component, this component, this component, and the company countered me and said, sadly, we can't get this one and this one right now, but we can get you something similar like this and this will adjust the price slightly. So I had to sacrifice. I did. I didn't exactly get what I wanted. What I got was still comparable and close to what I wanted. But I couldn't get exactly what I wanted at that time unless I wanted to wait for their fucking items to get back in stock, which obviously I didn't want to wait any longer than it was already going to take for them to build and ship the damn thing. So, there's definitely a trade-off. I'll be honest, I'm leaning more towards a pre-built. I really don't feel like at 40 years old not having built a PC in the greater part of 20 years, I don't really think that I'm going to be equipped to do the job properly. I'm not saying I couldn't get it done. I'm saying likely it would be a sloppy, strenuous, stressful, and probably full of bugs process, meaning I'd have fucked something up, or, oh, this isn't working now, and now I have to do this, and I have to do that. You see what I'm saying? Like, rather than just plug it in, oh, it's working, I just set up OBS and we're ready to go today. But damn, the pre-built PCs are probably going to cost more. I know that, okay? I know that. So, likely what's going to happen is in the next few weeks, all right? I mean, we're not doing it tomorrow because tomorrow we already got a special event planned and everything, okay? What I'm thinking is, in the next few weeks, all right? I cannot get this hair to stay. I'm going to have to go get the hairbrush. This is really annoying. In the next few weeks, I'm going to plan out an event, maybe for June, and it may be a fundraising event. Okay? Maybe an event where we sit down. Well, what we might do is start talking about what should I do and what components am I looking for? What am I looking for? What am I looking for in regards to what do you call it? A pre-built versus if I were to buy the components separately, right? What exactly am I looking for? By the way, this PC, I have to clarify this because people still are not understanding. Okay? It's not a gaming PC. I'm not buying a gaming PC. I need to buy a PC that is dedicated to capturing and streaming at the quality I want, which would be 1080p 60 frames, with a high quality webcam that has flexibility. So maybe if I want to do widescreen, if I want to do green screen, I want it to be a PC that can handle all of that and not be maxing out all of its CPU and everything. I need to have it so that I can do it with no frame drops. Right now, I get big frame drops when I do 60 frames per second streaming. I know that. I want no frame drops. I want it to be smooth. I want it to be, buttery. Am I looking for 4K streaming? No. No one can do 4K streaming. No one can even see it. No one has the internet to cover that. It's a waste of everyone's fucking time. And by the way, YouTube butchers 4K video and it looks terrible anyway. There's no reason to be doing 4K streaming. But I absolutely want full 1080p, 60 frames, buttery, with a webcam that also is high quality, buttery smooth, and I want flexibility in what I can do without maxing out everything. All right? So, we're going to talk about this, obviously, in the next few weeks to month. And what I want to do is think about scheduling a fundraising event or events. It might just not be one. It may be a series of events where maybe we could raise funds per stream to start paying for either the components individually or to raise enough money to actually buy the whole pre-built in one fell swoop. Okay? So, yes, now is the time. Okay? Now is the time to start thinking about this and working on that. All right? All right? We will. We'll start discussing it. It's not going to be a major focus. I'm not going to be talking about it every day. I'm not going to be derailing my streams about it. But in general, we obviously should start talking about it and try to figure out exactly what it is that I'm going to need, right? I don't know. I've been out of the market from a PC for 8 years. I don't know what the hell's out there or what we're looking for, right? So, I'm just throwing that out there, all right? Just so you guys are aware, it's coming at some point. And we're going to start talking about it sooner rather than later, or maybe we'll start gradually, slowly talking about it on my streams and start to work out some stuff and then go from there. Okay? Okay, cool. This hair is never going to stay unless I get a hairbrush. All right. So, I have to burp. Excuse me. I wanted to go away from the mic when I did that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's now talk about the schedule, and let's talk about some updates I have with things going on in the schedule before we get to game news and then the rest of the shout-outs and everything else for the stream, okay? So, schedule-wise, all right? Today, it's the return of Skyrim to the main gameplay streams. I've already told you why. We need more time to focus on this to get through the game because the game is incredibly lengthy. And, admittedly, there's nothing major going on in gaming right now. There is a new release today. It's called Evil Dead the Game. I've looked into it. In fact, I watched 30 minutes of gameplay of it. I was incredibly unimpressed. It looks almost exactly like Friday the 13th with a few improvements, I would say, to that game engine. Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th formula. And it looks like it would be something that if I bought it and played it, it would be 1 to 2 streams, and then we get bored because it's the same fucking formula over and over, and I would not want to play it ever again. I'm just being honest. It doesn't look good. It looks like they copied other games and tried to maybe improve the formula, but still, they blatantly lifted a gameplay style from other games rather than doing their own thing. I thought that the Evil Dead game was going to be its own thing. It was going to be a nice story-based campaign with original gameplay and elements and stuff. No, it's literally Dead by Daylight / Friday the 13th with some more dungeon creation elements to it, like setting traps and things. It's very, very simplistic. I couldn't believe it. When I was watching the gameplay, my jaw dropped. I was like, that's what they went for in the Evil Dead game? Like, literally, it's like the same formula, just we bought a license to use licensed characters in it so people would actually buy it. It actually, like, disappointed the shit out of me when I saw the gameplay of it. So there's no reason to, like, that's a good game if you're one of these social streamers, right? Oh, we play the fad games. We play the games where I team up with 4 people from my viewer base, and then there's trolling and shit online, and we joke and we do meme shit on it when we're playing it. Great. Right? Great. Or if you're the people who like that survival style game, great. But, you know, I've played them. They're all right. I mean, I like Dead by Daylight. I actually liked it more than you guys. When I was playing Dead by Daylight, I wanted to keep playing it, and you guys told me to take it out of the rotation because you thought it was boring. You know? Friday the 13th was broken. It was, like, just broken and not fun. It was, you played it once or twice, and it was like, okay, this game is obviously unfinished. Like, what's the point of me continuing to play this thing? Right? So, if you're going to team up with a group of your friends and play it online or whatever, great. But outside of that, it is not going to fit the format of my streams, and I know that because I've been there, done that, and tried those games. I'm skipping it. And there's really nothing else going on in games until the end of the month, when there is multiple new releases, including Pac-Man Museum, Sniper Elite 5. I think there's another one, too. I looked into that vampire game, Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song. It looks like shit. It does. I was like, ugh. The graphics don't look that great. The gameplay kind of looks like a combination of other franchises slapped together, and it doesn't look very good. I was like, I don't think so, man. This month is just a dud. This month is seriously a dud. There's really nothing going on in May. The games that have come out, it's just, you know, next month will be much better. Just to give you guys an idea of June, okay? In June, we've got Mario Strikers Battle League, The Quarry, Sonic Origins, the Capcom Fighting Collection, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, and Cuphead The Delicious Last Course. Now, admittedly, that doesn't even start till June 10th, okay? But still, that's much better than this month. This month is one of the deadest months ever for video games. The stuff that's coming out is just so lackluster. So that's why we're trying to find things to fill in the gaps. That's why I think it makes sense to pull back Skyrim and make it a daytime stream again, at a time when people would be interested in it, you know, and balance out WWE. You guys have wanted to see WWE for the longest time. I'm totally okay with making that a daytime stream too, okay? Okay. All right, so today, Skyrim returns. We're in the Dragonborn DLC. It's very fun. It's open world chill. I hope you guys will join me, and for those who've already been attending and supporting the Skyrim streams, I certainly hope that you will do the same as a daytime stream as well. Yeah, it's going to suck if basically the support falls out for Skyrim, because it's one of my main streams right now, okay? So I hope that you guys will join me. It is going to be a chill stream vibe where we interact and we have fun conversation while I'm playing. At the same time, I certainly hope that you guys who've been here all along will also enjoy and not say, oh, it's Skyrim, I'm dipping, I'm out of here, man, you know? Okay. Tonight, the late stream. Friday Night Fights, old school Street Fighter fun. And this is at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. Yes, it is the final countdown for the 30th anniversary collection. Because, like I said, on June 24th, the Capcom Fighting Collection comes out. So let's do the math, shall we? That means we've got today, next Friday, the Friday after, 1, 2, okay, 6 more sessions. That's it, including today. Only 6 more sessions of the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. Good. Because as much as I've enjoyed playing it, man, it's a broken mess that they never fixed. So I'm happy to be playing a new collection, you know, after these 6 sessions. So, it's the final countdown for the 30th anniversary of Street Fighter. Thank goodness. So tomorrow, guys, is the big one. Tomorrow, I gotta brush this hair. It's bothering me. God damn this fucking hair. Tomorrow, finally, is the marathon you've all been waiting for. It's the big event. It's the one that I've been hyping for a while, and I hope that you guys will join me tomorrow if at all you can. It is the 1-year Return to YouTube Anniversary Marathon event. Yes. So what's going on tomorrow? First of all, you guys are currently voting on the cuisine that I will be trying during the Feasting with the King event that will happen during the marathon. I have an update because what I would like to do, I would like to tell you what exactly we're doing and what the results are as of now. Okay, so first of all, let's check the status of that poll. Here we go. Currently, here are the results of the poll. With over 1,300 people that have voted so far, Thai food, 27% of the vote. Poke bowls, 27% of the vote. Vietnamese food, 20% of the vote. And Szechuan Chinese food, 27% of the vote. Ladies and gentlemen, as of now, we have a triple tie in the votes for the cuisine that I will be having for Feasting with the King. That has never happened before. But there's still 24 hours left to vote. With a day left, that literally can go in any direction because it's a triple freaking tie. Okay? So if you have not voted yet, please vote. All right? Those foods are very unique. Thai food, they've got different kinds of seafood, chicken, peanut dishes, whole fish prepared. They have unique drinks. They have some really unique stuff, and it's known for being spicy food. Poke bowls. Those are usually bowls of various types of protein mixed in with greens and other things. For example, you can get raw tuna. You can get tempura shrimp or crab. You can get all kinds of different seafood mixed in with all kinds of variety of sides and things. Pretty unique. And the thing is, with a poke bowl, I could probably order like 1 or 2 that are completely different and try them all. Vietnamese food. Classic stuff like pho. Their notable noodle soup that has all kinds of veggies and meat and things in it. And also banh mi sandwiches, which I've never even tried before, but I've heard great things about. And then, of course, Szechuan Chinese. Not that crappy fast food American Chinese, authentic Szechuan Chinese. Really hot fried chicken, unique smoked duck, and other dishes that Chinese restaurants would actually serve in China as opposed to Americanized Chinese, which is fast foody garbage, okay? All 4 of those cuisines are absolutely outstanding picks. So, if you have not voted yet, you have 24 hours left. Head to the main channel page of DSPGaming. Head to the community tab. Look, vote, all right? We need to have a definitive winner. If we don't, just so you guys know, if we end up with a tie, I'm just going to pick anything. I don't care. I'll just say, oh, well, we're doing this today. That's the thing. It's always at my discretion. If the poll ends up being a tie, I get to pick. So please vote. All right. Vote, 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 and vote some more if you have not. Okay. Also, during that marathon event, it's time. Finally, ladies and gentlemen. Years in the making. So many people requested it. It's finally happening. DSP reacts to Down the Rabbit Hole, Dark Side Phil. We're going to be going through the 30-minute video about my history as a content creator, and I'm going to be adding so much supplementary content that you are going to have your head explode when you actually get full explanations of these situations. Background stuff I have literally never spoken of before. Not once. Okay? I will reveal things that happen behind the scenes that you guys would never know about. All right? And it'll be pretty interesting. We're going to do it in the format that I've done before, where I talk, and I pause and I give you some supplementary information while we do it. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be something you guys are going to learn a lot that you've never known before. Seriously, you are. So anyway, it's going to be a good time. I hope you guys will join me for that tomorrow. Plus, by the way, it's not just that and Feasting with the King, but also I'm going to be doing my first ever WWE 2K22 simulation match, a 30-man over-the-top rope battle royal fantasy match, meaning no real wrestlers, but instead all fantasy characters. These could be cartoon characters, comic book characters, pop culture icons, musicians, movie stars, all kinds of shit, all thrown into one. I've done these over the years, and they've always been hilarious. I actually had many suggestions already being given of characters people have found already in the community creations of WWE 2K22. And actually, it's going to be tonight. I'm going to download all those wrestlers and get it ready for tomorrow. I have to do it. Obviously, it's tomorrow. So I have to sit down and have the time to do it. I'm doing it tonight. Okay? So this should be pretty exciting tomorrow, this marathon. Now, if we have time for anything else, like a Q&A or other random gameplay, we'll do that too. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. Okay? Then for the rest of the week, Sunday, we're back to regular gameplay streaming. It's going to be more WWE 2K22 My Rise mode on the first stream and Halo Infinite multiplayer on the late stream. And then on Monday, it'll be more Skyrim Anniversary Edition paired with Mirror's Edge. That's the streaming week, okay? Next week, we'll play it by ear. We'll see what happens. But, you know, Mirror's Edge is not a long game. Mirror's Edge is going to finish sooner rather than later. Probably 2 more streams and I'm going to beat it. In which case, now we're looking for something else for late night streaming. Will it be continuing a game I already started on Game Pass? Will it be playing a retro game on the Nintendo Switch? I don't know yet. I got to think about it, okay? Okay. Cool. My face is dribbling. Very nice. Okay. So that's what's going on, guys. Now, one other thing. I've already explained this a million times. I'll reiterate it again. We're almost halfway through the month, and we have not made any progress whatsoever on channel members. All right? The goal for the month is 450 members. If we hit 450, we are locking in to the next DSP Reacts event, and this time it will not be a down the rabbit hole, because already people are complaining, oh, the only reacts you're doing are to down the rabbit hole. Oh, you're doing the same thing over and over, it's boring, you want something new. That's exactly how you sound when you complain. So, this next event is a choice between 2 that I know you guys want. I will either react to the original This Is How You Don't Play video from many, many years ago, a decade ago, okay? Or I'll be reacting to the John Rambo and Howard video made about me in 2015 that basically exposed everything about our behind-the-scenes relationship and what a horrible friend and person I was. In reality, a lot of what they said is true. Just that I didn't realize that it was things that bothered them, and that's what really got me about the situation. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. All right, we are. We're not doing the react yet, okay? So please consider becoming a member. If you're not a member right now, not only are you missing out on a ton of awesome benefits here on the channel, but also, you're holding up DSP Reacts. What are you thinking? Become a member today, goddammit. The truth is, I know for a fact if we had gifted memberships, we probably would have already hit it. It's YouTube's fault. YouTube, as usual, dragging its fucking feet, won't give features, won't become like its competitor. Instead, it just takes its fucking time doing anything, and then you end up in a situation where it's like, well, we absolutely should have hit the goal, and we can't now. By the way, my fan is not on oscillate. Why not? Oscillate. I said, oh, now it started. What the hell? That thing is delayed as shit. Okay. Now it's oscillating. I was like, why is there no nice breeze over here? Why is, oh, because it's not oscillating. All right, now it's oscillating. That's right. It is everyone's fault but mine. Absolutely. No, guys, listen. I wish I could offer you more value for a membership. I really do. The fact of the matter is I cannot offer you the things that a lot of other content creators do. I can't offer you exclusive early videos because I don't do anything off stream. I'm a full-time streamer. I don't do edited videos anymore, right? I actually was doing really high-quality edited videos, and I stopped doing it because YouTube screwed me by demonetizing all my stuff. So I'm not doing that anymore. I haven't done it for 5 years. I found success as a full-time streamer. So how on earth could I be doing exclusive videos when I don't make videos? I do streams, you see? A lot of people say, oh, why don't you do exclusive streams or, because guess what? They've already said, these idiots have already said, here's what we'll do. If Phil ever does anything that's supposed to be exclusive for any kind of a membership, they don't call it that, by the way. They don't call it, oh, member exclusive or Patreon. They call it hidden behind a paywall. That's their catchphrase that they've repeated for like 10 years because they're brainless idiots. So anything that's hidden behind a paywall, they basically have said they will troll and basically distribute for free on the internet, just regardless of the fact that it breaks the law. They don't care. They'll actually pay for that membership so that they can rebroadcast whatever I'm doing illegally, and therefore there's no reason to become a member because you could just see it for free on the internet anyway. You see the point? So, yeah, it sucks. I can't do anything exclusive. I can't do exclusive videos or exclusive video of streams because these guys have already said they will break the law to troll me. So that's already locked out. And, you know, nothing else really makes sense. The one thing that people literally continuously scream for is multiplayer. It ain't happening. I'm not playing any games that lend themselves to a multiplayer with members. And those events have always historically failed. The common viewer does not care about a members-only event. The members-only event is not enough to constitute having entire streams not with people who can participate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense at all. So, there's nothing. I'm doing as much as I possibly can with the memberships. YouTube needs to up its game and offer better quality rewards, which it doesn't. Twitch does. YouTube doesn't. There's nothing I can do about that. Right now, if people could use my emotes on another YouTuber stream, you probably would become a member. People have outright said that's why they did it on Twitch, right? If YouTube said, hey, you buy YouTube Premium, which is their premium service every month that you get ad-free YouTube, and you get a free membership every month, a lot of people would probably use that membership here on DSPGaming. Just like if you get Amazon Prime, you get a free Twitch Prime subscription. They don't do that here on YouTube. There's nothing I can do about this. It's YouTube dragging their feet and not doing their job of making streaming competitive, you know? Excuse me. So anyway, it is what it is. But we need to hit the goal if you guys want to see the next DSP Reacts, or else it's not going to happen, you know? I want you to understand that. Maybe tomorrow, as I'm doing the DSP Reacts to Darkside Fill Down the Rabbit Hole, maybe then some people will be like, oh, okay, I understand. This is really good. I like it. So let's go ahead, right? And let's become a member to make the next one happen. I would hope there'd be a rallying tomorrow, but I honestly don't know if there will be. I guess we're going to have to see what happens tomorrow, okay? All right, we got a few news stories to talk about today. So let's talk about said news story, shall we? Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So, our first news story of the day is one that might actually surprise you, because it did surprise me when I heard it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is actually official as of today. Elden Ring has outsold Call of Duty. Holy shit. Call of Duty, you have to understand the perspective here. Call of Duty has always been the biggest selling game year after year after year after year. Elden Ring beat it. In 3 months, Elden Ring has sold more copies than Call of Duty Vanguard has in many more months, because it came out in, what, November? Yeah. So, here's the thing, though. You have to understand, this is the worst year for Call of Duty. Like, they outright said, yes, this is our worst sales year. No one liked Vanguard. Everyone criticized it, hates it, and it sold way less than usual. At the time, they were still the best-selling game, though. But now, actually, Elden Ring has overtaken it. Now, this is the biggest success that From Software by far has ever had, okay? Will this mean that From Software will branch out and make new games that aren't of the current Soulsborne type because they have so much money now? Does this mean that they'll be pumping out multiple DLCs, multiple sequels? Who knows, right? Maybe we'll see Bloodborne 2? No, I don't think so. Actually, I think Sony owns it anyway. So, pretty crazy. I didn't think that would happen. Call of Duty has always been this monstrous dynamo and never really no one even competes. To be beaten by someone like this who is not the same style of game, and certainly, I don't think anyone expected Elden Ring was going to appeal to the masses the way that it did. I'll be honest, likely because of the press coverage it got. People coming out there and saying it was the most accessible game ever, of the franchise that is, made people feel like they could play it even if they sucked at every other FromSoft game beforehand. I would really be interested in hearing statistics on how many people who bought Elden Ring beat Elden Ring. That would be an interesting statistic. I would guarantee you it's like a third or less. Like, most people probably give up on it, but they probably at least got further than they did in other FromSoft games. Okay, so that's the first news story. The second news story is that the NPD sales numbers for April are in, all right? Hardware-wise, the Switch was the best-selling console, followed by the Xbox Series. Yes, just Series, because they group S and X together. And then the PlayStation 5. No big surprise there. You still can't get your hands on those consoles, and the Switch is readily available. But the shocking number here, which, again, I did not expect, ladies and gentlemen, Elden Ring has been dethroned as the top-selling game. The top-selling game in April was Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Yeah, and it's funny because many of you criticized me and said, why are you playing this children's game? Why are you playing this game that no one cares about? It was the best-selling game of the month. That game was giant. That game had a humongous audience. Yes, among kids, but people who were also fans of Star Wars and people who were throwback fans of the Lego games all went out in droves and bought the game because they heard it was the best game ever made by that group. And admittedly, it was. It is the best game ever made by, who is it? Traveler's Tales? Is it Traveler's Tales or Telltale? It's not Telltale, right? Because Telltale is the Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us. I think it's Traveler's Tales. But, it really is the best game they've ever made. It's the most content ever in one game. It covers 9 different movies. It's got all this optional open world side content. It's an amazing presentation and a great game. So I understand why it got the very positive response that it did. The funny thing that gets me about it is I didn't see that on my streams or in my videos. When I played it, people were constantly complaining, it's a kid's game, it's boring, why am I playing this? So all this tells me is that my audience is not kids, right? If my audience was a bunch of kids, I would have had sky-high views, I would have had sky-high reception. And instead, it's like, why are you playing this? Like, well, because I'm a variety streamer, and it's a chill game. I get to experience the Star Wars movies again, which is really nice. Some of them I didn't even get to see the ending. I like to see the ending of the trilogy and everything. All I got was, this game sucks. It's so kiddie. Oh my God. I just wanted to enjoy it, man. So, I'm happy I played it, but it really literally was one of the worst received games I've played recently. People just complain constantly. Support was not great. Views were low. But I got through it and I enjoyed it. It was over 30 hours. Pretty crazy long game. Okay. Our next news story, because I got a bunch today. We got 2 more. Sega, in one of its, I guess it was either like a company call or a press conference, something where they're talking about what they're planning on doing for their next fiscal year. It says that it's planning multiple remakes, remasters, and yes, even brand new games this coming year between now and March of 2023. The thing is, we don't know about almost any of them. The one we're sure about is the new Sonic game. What's it called? Sonic Frontier? But outside of that, we're actually not aware of them. So Sega apparently saying they got a lot up their sleeve for this coming year, but they're kind of tight-lipped about it. And they're not really giving many details or any details. So we really don't know what to expect. What I would say is we should be expecting in the next month or two a lot of information about these games in all these digital events and conferences that we're going to see on the internet. Maybe Summer Games Fest, right? There may be some interesting stuff coming up. And I'm excited for it, obviously. What does Sega have up its sleeve outside of Sonic? Okay. Now, one final thing. And I think this may actually be the biggest news, okay? So, leaked images on the internets appear to show that there is a new Silent Hill game in development. The leaked images were leaked by someone who previously had leaked images of other games ahead of time, and then everything they leaked actually was true. The leaked images show Post-it notes. But it's kind of creepy. It's a whole hallway full of, or a room full of Post-it notes with a girl standing in the room who appears to be haunted, who has Post-it notes coming out of her head. But the Post-it notes all say horrible things like fat, disgusting, stupid, insulting things, insinuating that the girl has some type of either mental illness or that she's been bullied and it's causing her to lose her mind, something crazy like that, okay? Also, some of the Post-it notes seem to have phrases on them that seem to be mannerisms or sayings from Great Britain. So people are assuming that this Silent Hill game will actually take place in, England, which is interesting. I don't think we've seen anything like that before, right? Now, normally you'd say, well, what's the evidence that this is real? What's the evidence that this is truthful? This could just be all bullshit speculation. It could be just a piece of art someone made up to fuck around. Well, guess what? The person who leaked it had his tweets taken down for copyright strike reasons from Konami. So that sounds pretty legit to me. If Konami is striking down his account, suspending it, and taking the images down, it sounds like they're real. Okay? So that's interesting, because we had not had official confirmation that a new Silent Hill was being made, nor did we know anything about it, and now we may have our actual first information about a new Silent Hill. Obviously good news, maybe, and the reason I say that is I love Silent Hill. I've played almost all of them. I think there's one that still eludes me because there's no real viable way to play it on any modern console. You have to play it on an old console and spend a ridiculous amount of money to get the disc version or whatever. But the ones that I've played, I've loved every single one of them. Okay, I have. I've absolutely loved every single one of them. I think they're a great franchise. They're creepy as shit. And they really encapsulate what the core of survival horror is, right? Since then, every survival horror game has become a walking simulator. You know, to some extent, could those be scary? Yeah. But still, Silent Hill is where it's at. It was like it took the Resident Evil formula and added a whole psychological aspect to it that never had been in survival horror before. The whole mind fuck mentality, right? So, I'm excited, obviously. I want a new Silent Hill. But this comes with a big but. A big, stinky but. I have to do something. Hold on. I do have to fix something here. I want to make one of these work for when I'm in 1080p and one to work for when I'm in 480p. So which one should I do for 1080p? Maybe this one. This one's kind of crazy. Okay, hold on. Give me a second here. I got to work on this. See, I changed my whole setup to work with 1080p, and now I'm not doing 1080p camera anymore for gameplay, so now I got to change it again. Like, son of a bitch. I'm almost on camera now. I'm almost on camera now. Okay, I am on camera now. But now I actually do need to blow myself up more. Oh, shit. I clicked the wrong... Oh, what is that? Get out of here. Don't you like this on-the-fly editing? Here we go. Here's my beautiful, ugly face. So am I centered now? Yeah, I'm centered, right? So if I do this, then I can click on this and say, see, I clicked the wrong one. We're going to do that again. So I could click on this. I could click on this and say, oh my God! All right, see, that works. All right. So what I was going to do, because now I got sidetracked, I was going to say, so this is obviously good news. Or is it? Because, ladies and gentlemen, as we know, Konami has literally fallen apart as a game developer, right? Take a look at the last 5 years. What has Konami put out as a video game that's worth playing? The crap that they've put out, shovelware, or collections of previous games, they really have not put any solid effort into developing anything new. They outright showed that they basically only care about pachinko games. That's where they put most of their focus in the last several years, to make money on gambling. They didn't really focus on game developers at all, right? So that being said, who's going to be making this new Silent Hill game? There's rumors, and there's rumors all over. One of the rumors is that, remember the team that made that game, The Medium? Oh, they're going to be working on it. Bloober team. But, I mean, The Medium was very, very, how can I say, down the middle. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I was kind of in the middle. I enjoyed playing it, and I said, man, I'm glad I played it as a Game Pass game, but if I had actually paid for that game, I would have been disappointed, because the story actually really sucks at the end. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, am I happy to hear that Silent Hill is possibly and probably continuing? Yes, I like Silent Hill. I want more Silent Hill games. How excited were we for Silent Hills before that got shit canned, right? But do I want to see it come back and suck ass? Like, the thing is, I played Silent Hill Downpour, if you guys could believe it. Silent Hill Downpour, which is a game that came out relatively early in my YouTube career when I was just starting to do full playthroughs and be serious about this. actually came out, and it was my first Silent Hill game ever. I played the more modern one before I played the classics. I liked Silent Hill Downpour. I thought it was a pretty decent game. I wasn't in love with it, but I thought that it was pretty well done. It was scary. I enjoyed it. A lot of people didn't. They thought, it didn't hold a candle to the originals or whatever. But without that frame of reference, I particularly enjoyed it. If they made a game on par with like Silent Hill Downpour, I don't think I would have an issue. Especially because we're all craving another Silent Hill and it's been so long. But I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully there'll be some more interesting updates soon about this game in development, right? Sherry says, you played the bad HD collection of Silent Hill, and the Silent Hill community was abhorred with it when they played it. Well, yeah, because they were so... You know what that reminds me of? Okay. People who absolutely positively love Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. But then, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix came out. And they were up in arms. They were like, oh, God, the art style is absolutely terrible and makes the game look like shit. Because you made the game widescreen, it changes some of the gameplay elements and aspects of the game. You rebalance the game, and the rebalances are not needed, and they make the game not as good as it used to be. So that's how I compare it, for sure. It's kind of a very similar deal. A hardcore fan base who love the originals don't want any changes or even improvements. They just want the original shit again. And then when you make changes and improvements, they hate it. You see? Okay, so anyway, that's the news for today. Don't really have much else to talk about. So we're going to do some shout-outs, and then we're going to open up to Q&A, since it seems like we'll have some time today. Okay? Okay. So, first of all, our first... Actually, this is funny. Not 2D Fruity. John Smith says, how can you have a Silent Hill game not in Silent Hill? Ridiculous. I hate the leak. You do realize that Silent Hill 4 wasn't in Silent Hill, right? Did you ever play it? Silent Hill The Room? It's not in Silent Hill. Silent Hill, I don't think Silent Hill Downpour is that in Silent Hill? I can't remember. But there have been ones outside of Silent Hill before. Okay. Anyway. Let's get to YouTube side shoutouts first. Our first YouTube side contribution from today is from your boy Lem, who re-upped his membership for 11 months in a row. And by the way, I should say this now. Within the next couple of days, some of you should actually be hitting your 1-year anniversary of being a member on YouTube and actually earn the new crown. I don't think anyone's done it yet, but we're right there. Like, this is the 1-year anniversary. I think it was right around now when I moved over from Twitch to YouTube and I enabled everything, including the memberships, the super chats, the super stickers. So we might be coming up right now on the full year when you guys are going to start earning your bigger and better regal crowns. Okay? Cool. So, your boy Lem re-upped his membership for 11 months and says, hi, Phil. I hope you're having a good day. So far, so good. It's a nice, cool day here, which is nice. We've actually had a series of cool days in Washington. I enjoyed them because the cooler, the better for me. It means that, number one, I'm not sweating it out in the office. And number two, it means I don't have to install my air conditioner. Here we are in mid-May, and I haven't had to put my air conditioner in yet. This is actually unprecedented. Usually by now, I've had to get that air conditioner in there and pumping, and I have not had to yet. So this is good. Okay. Shout out to Tutti Frutti, who did a super chat. First one of the day. Says, what are your and Cat's plans for the summer? Right now, we have no current plans. But one thing we absolutely want to do is go to the zoo. We've been talking about this for a very long time, that this is something that we want to do on one of our days off. We want to plan it out so that day we don't have a lot to do and we can go to the zoo. Because the zoo is about an hour away each way. So that's 2 hours of driving plus the time at the zoo and then anything else we need to do on our day off. So we'd have to plan it out ahead of time significantly and make sure that we have everything aligned so it's not a week when we had to do a lot of other shit. The zoo is actually in Seattle, but it's more northern Seattle, so you actually have to drive through most of Seattle to get to it, which could be a lot of traffic. So that's really it. You know, that's really, we don't have a lot of big desires at this point. You know, we don't have a lot of money, so it's not a lot. We can't go spend anything or go on a vacation or anything, but that's one thing that we would definitely like to do. It is a big zoo. It's a very nice big zoo. Woodland Park Zoo. Okay. Plum Goral has re-upped her membership for 12 months. Now, here's the thing. People who are re-upping their memberships and it says 12 months, what that means is they're starting their 12th month right now. Okay? When it says 13 months on YouTube, that means you've hit the full year mark, and that means you've earned your Regal Crown badge in chat. And that's why, if you're looking, no one has it yet, because I think we're literally coming up on like the day when it's going to kick, when it was the day that I officially left Twitch, came to YouTube, and people started doing their ongoing memberships. Okay? So, very shortly, we should see some people with the Regal Crown. So, thank you very much, Plum Goral. I really appreciate that. Okay. Now we swap over to tips. We don't have a lot of tips to shout out. Only a couple. But let's get started. We start off with Godzilla's Giant Dino Dick with a $1.49 tip. He says, Phil, is it true you are an underground gangster rapper and you have close associates with Chief Keef and the Glow Kang? Yes, actually, you may not realize this, but I am the next door neighbor of Chief Keef. He lives next door to me. Right. Ridiculous. Thank you for the tip. Malcolm has tipped $1.50, and that is actually the top tip of the day so far, so let's get that up on the leaderboard. He says, deep down, you're a good dude. The internet gave you a beating. You got right back up. DSP, the unstoppable. Thank you, Malcolm. Those are nice words. And I rather enjoy nice words, because I get a lot of bad ones thrown my way. So when I rarely get some good ones, I always savor the flavor. Thank you very much for that. Okay. Rusty Edwards says, I'm glad you're in better health. You look better. I mean, yeah. Earlier this week, I was bad. Those allergies were killing me. Now I'm on daily allergy meds. I've decided I'm just going to take them every day. I know eventually they're going to not be as effective, but I was really in a bad way this weekend. It was just like my throat was completely inflamed and swollen. I had nasal drip going constantly. I couldn't stop it. It was just insane. So once I started taking the meds, within 2 days, I was good. I was like, oh, I'm good now. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now opening up this stream to open Q&A. So if you would like to ask me a question, please tag me in the stream chat. Okay. Tutti Frutti said, what's the best movie I've watched in the past year? I don't even remember a movie I watched in the past year. I'm serious. I haven't watched many or any movies. I watch a lot of TV with my wife. But I can't even tell you the last movie I saw. I have no recollection. Walking Dead Carl says, we know from your old PC unboxing you have a GTX 780 Ti, a graphics card capable of GPU encoding. Why don't you try that for your stream? Because I have no idea what you're talking about. When I set up everything originally 8 years ago, I did what I was told. I set it all up and it worked. And all of a sudden, people said, well, why don't you upgrade this? Why don't you upgrade that? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. How do I do what you're talking about? Well, you said it to do this and do that. And I went to do it. And a few of the things that I did, it never worked. The video size went from like 4 gigs to like 40 gigs of video, like insanely huge videos by doing that, which you can't even upload to YouTube. Go ahead and try to uploading a 40 gig video to YouTube and see how long it takes to encode. You'll be waiting 2 days for it to show up on YouTube. So at that point, I did everything I was told when I first got the PC, okay? And then afterward, I never really was explained viably how to do anything better. So I've just been doing it the way I was doing it when I got the PC for 8 years. I remember shadow play. That word's still stuck in my head. Why aren't you using shadow play? You enable shadow play. And I did enable shadow play, and it actually made the videos worse. So I turned it back off. Yeah, I just remember it dramatically increased the size of the videos like tenfold, and the videos weren't looking as good. So we just said fuck it and went back. I remember. But again, that was 8 years ago. I don't know the ins and outs of the technicalities of it. You're asking me a very silly question there. An anonymous, listen to this. An anonymous $1.50 tipper says, how is it fair we complain we're little kids crying, but you complain a lot and we point it out and get banned or timed out? I feel you treat us very unfairly sometimes. When do I ever ban someone for saying, hey, Phil, you complain? You're right. I do complain a lot. I probably complain more than most content creators because I'm an honest dude. I don't sit here and kiss every game's butt. I don't say the world is all fucking roses and rainbows. I'm honest with my audience. And a lot of people don't like that. They just want a happy-go-lucky time. I want to come to your stream and, oh, everything's a great time with everyone. Look, I'm friendly with everyone, and everyone just co-op with me, and we play Among Us all fucking day, and we dance in banana hammocks and do conga lines in Fortnite, and we play every viral game. Everything's happy, roses, and sunshine. That's not life. That's a fantasy fucking world, all right? That's not where I live. I live in the same world you do, all right? So when you come to my streams, you hear a lot of complaints because you're going to hear me complain about the games. You're going to hear me complain when something goes wrong on YouTube. True, because I'm honest. So I don't know what you're talking about. You say, I don't ban people who say I complain. What are you talking about? But the thing is, what you do is you come in with a question trying to qualify what you're saying, but you have no facts. You say, oh, it's not fair because you say when we complain a lot, it's bad, but when you complain, it's okay, but you ban us when we say you complain. But that doesn't happen. And you haven't provided any evidence that I do. You just say it as a qualifying question as if it's a fact. Your question itself is flawed because you don't have proof of what you're saying. Therefore, it's a meaningless question. Thanks for the tip. Okay. Do I worry about all digital gaming versus physical copies with companies like Microsoft? Now I scrolled off the screen. Or Sony locking users' games due to server outages? Of course I am. Right? Of course I am afraid of that. We are heading into a digital age. Most people, it's actually been proven statistically, more people are buying digital than physical now. Physical is on its way out, and I predict within 5 years, you're going to see actual big companies saying we're not doing physical anymore unless you want to pay extra or unless you're going to buy the collector's edition. They don't want that added production cost anymore when most people are capable of downloading the games digitally. Okay? But you're right. We shouldn't have a situation where, oh, Xbox is having a DRM server outage and now you can't play any games for 2 days, which is exactly what happened last weekend. It's a concern. These companies, if they want people to go all digital and they want the savings of going all digital and not having to make the discs, they have to make it feasible that when their side fucks up, we can still play our games. Or else you're paying for something you can't access, that's illegal. Yeah, it's a violation of contract. So, they got to figure it out. There's not much else to say about it. Have I been affected badly by inflation in the economy yet? Well, let's see. My grocery bill in the last 2 years has gone up by about arguably 50%. And that's not exaggeration. That's not me saying, oh, Phil, what are you doing? You're buying gourmet foods. I'm not. I buy normal stuff like everyone else. You hear what I tell you what we make for dinner. Today for dinner, we're having pork chops with instant mashed potatoes, frozen corn, and my wife is going to make a pumpkin puree with a few pecans in it. Okay? Nothing ultra expensive. We bought all the store brand ingredients for it, the cheapest possible stuff. Okay? That's our dinner for tonight. That's the kind of stuff that we eat. We don't eat ultra expensive foods. Okay? There's been about a 50% increase in the cost of our weekly grocery bills. Absolutely. Every single item. Meat prices have gone way up. I used to be able to buy a pack of chicken thighs that would last about 3 to 4 meals for about $7. Now that same pack of chicken thighs, no exaggeration, is $15. It's more than doubled in cost during this whole inflation here in the United States. In addition, because inflation has happened, other things are affected. For example, my condo dues have gone way up. Just this year, they increased by $70 a month. Yeah, $70 a month increase on our condo dues because they said the cost of maintaining everything here is way more expensive. We have to up the dues, and there's nothing we can do about that. And by the way, the people here complained and said, well, that's not fair. We had a budget. We all agreed to it. To which the people in charge said, yeah, but we didn't count for insane inflation in the United States. Everything's more expensive. Where does the money come from? Us. Where else, how is she going to afford what we're planning on doing? Right? So there's nothing you can do about that. And I agree with the Homeowners Association raising the dues because we have to be able to pay for the shit here. You know? That's just a couple examples. You know, gas price. Oh my God. Gas at one point was like $3 a gallon, if not less. And now it's over $5 a gallon. So that's almost doubled in price. You know? And that's just a few examples of things that have gone sky high, and everything's affected. Every price has gone up since this has all happened. Thoughts on the crypto crash? See, like everything with investments in the stock market and anything like that, Nothing ever lasts, and it's always flash in the pan success, or you know what I mean? It's kind of like just like gambling at a casino. You may be on a lucky streak, it ain't gonna last forever. There are some people who are lucky enough that have enough money that they can diversify their investments enough that if they get hurt here, they made enough here that it at least evens out and they can continue to do it for a living. But most people are just not successful. And a lot of people put tons of money into the crypto markets thinking they were going to make it big forever. They were always going to be rich now because they put their money in crypto was booming. And now crypto has crashed. And what's funny is a ton of people said to me on these streams over the last 2 years, will you invest your money into crypto? I was like, no, I'm not going to risk. First of all, I didn't have money, but any money that I might have been able to scrounge up, I would have been a complete and utter idiot to do it. It's a complete gamble. And at any moment, it could completely fall apart. And that's what's happened, is the market has been manipulated at this point, and now crypto has fallen to, you know, almost non-existent levels of values. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't get involved in any of that shit. I'm getting some really completely out there questions that I can't even answer. I don't know what the people are talking about. What's my justification for doing React content now as opposed to years ago? Well, because it's not black and white, which is what idiots would like to think, but it's not. When I criticize React content, for me, I feel that React content, okay, is the lowest form of content out there. And what I mean by that is most people who do React content don't necessarily add much intelligent thought, analysis, or anything meaningful to it. It's literally someone going, oh my God, I can't believe it. Ooh, oh, doing stupid shit, watching a video. What's hilarious is when I do React content, right? I've only done 2 so far. I pause it and I start to comment. People are like, why is he pausing the video? What's that? Like, wait, what are you talking about? You want me to keep playing the video? So how can I even formulate an intelligent thought without talking over the video unless I pause it? But people are so used to the completely meaningless React content. You know, people watching E3 or the big press conferences and literally not pausing, but just making faces and laughing and doing dumb shit and actually making money doing it. They think that's valid content when it's not, okay? To me, valid React content is if you're going to watch something, but you're going to add something to it. Whether it's your own outside perspective that can make a big twist on it, or maybe an in-depth analysis. You know, when I'm watching Down the Rabbit Hole, Wings of Redemption, I'm taking my 14 years of experience as a content creator, being one of the early YouTubers just like he was. I'm giving you frames of reference you wouldn't understand if you weren't there. I'm empathizing with him because I've been through a lot of the shit that he's been through. I've had depression, and I know what it's like to feel the way that he's felt. And I can tell you my perspective on that that's different from a lot of other people's. Someone who's just sitting on the outside laughing. Ha ha, laughing at his misfortunes. Ha ha, laugh at that clown. Ha ha. I'm not going to do that. That's why that video is so different for me. Okay? However, if I were just to sit there and add nothing to it, then I'd be just as bad as everybody else. All right? I'll be honest. It was a little bit harder to do that react that I did on the fly last weekend, which was about that Final Fantasy house. I had no idea what it was going to be about. Zero. And I knew, having no perspective on it, that likely I wasn't going to be able to add that much. However, surprisingly enough, I was able to talk about Final Fantasy. Suikoden was a major part of it, which has shocked me because I love Suikoden and I played it in the 1990s and had no idea that half the video was going to be about it. So it ended up kind of lucky. But that's what I mean. Like, there's a difference. Again, that's not black and white. Black and white would be all React content's bad, all React content's good. That's not true. And I've never said that. I've said I feel React content is kind of bottom of the barrel, easy mode. Oh, I have a day where I have absolutely nothing planned and I don't feel like working today. Just play someone else's video and react to it and make money. Yeah, I feel like that's the attitude that a lot of content creators have is I got a lazy fucking day today and I don't want to work, but I still want to make a paycheck. Let's do a React video, right? And that's unfortunate that that's how it's become on the internet. I don't ever want to become like that, okay? I want my content to feel like there's meaning behind it. and that you're getting something out of it, and you're getting a unique perspective, or you're getting some kind of a take or insight when you watch one of my React videos, so that way you don't feel like you're just watching some asshole make faces on camera and make a profit doing it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. But again, people hear me criticize React content over the years, and they just say, oh, well, Phil says he doesn't like React content and you shouldn't do it. Yeah, he's doing it, so he's a hypocrite. Well, do you have context? No. That's a black and white statement that's actually factually untrue. You have no context to it, but you say that to basically make me look bad, which is your end goal. Your end goal is to make Darkside Phil look bad, so you make the argument that's it's a completely untrue argument. No facts behind it, no context, but you'll say it to say it so that other people can circle jerk each other and say it's fact, and then next thing you know, it's fact. So I don't give a fuck what those idiots say. Those idiots are never going to like me anyway because they literally fabricate shit on a daily basis to make me look bad. Why the fuck would I care that they're so dumb that they don't understand context, right? If you don't understand context, you're like a mouth-drooling cow chewing their fucking cud in a field. You're a moron. You're to be led around by other people because you have no actual self-fucking realization in your head of anything. You probably don't even understand life. You just get led around by people. So fuck you. I don't care about you. I'll stick to my own intelligent viewer base who understands the difference between when I'm reacting to something and what I'm adding versus some asshole acting like a cartoon to make clickbait money. Yeah, there's a big difference. Okay. Have I swam in a pool? I have. It's been a very long time. When I was young, I used to swim in my great aunt's pool. She had an outdoor covered pool, and I actually really liked swimming in it. And then after that, very rarely have I swam in my life. I swam in her pool a lot when I was young, and that was about it. Every once in a while, I would go to the beach or something, but yeah, very rarely. Dave Jordan Baxter, someone found one of these dumb memes with his name, and I wish he would change it. Says, would you leave YouTube if they start censoring and banning curse words? They're not going to do that. What they're going to do is just demonetize them. They're never going to censor or ban curse words because the site has appropriate flags for that content. You could say, this content is not intended for children. This content is for adults. If it gets extreme with what you're saying, it can get flagged and say, oh, adults only. And that will remove advertisements from the content. They're not going to outright ever ban the words. That's a stupid statement to think that they would do that. This site has adult content, it has children's content, and has everywhere in between. But what I find funny is people who have actually censored themselves in an attempt to try to keep advertisements on their content because their content has been demonetized because of things that they've said and done in it. Like, for example, I know for a fact there's a few people who have done the more risque news kind of shows where it's all drama content, and they end up getting their videos demonetized. And they think it's because of the words they're saying. So I've heard a few people say things like, instead of saying sexualized or sexual content, they'll say spicy content. Like, that's not going to save you. It's not the word that's getting flagged. It's that people are flagging your video for its overall content, and then someone reviews it and says that's demonetized. But people think that they're all afraid of saying the word. It's not. That word is not what's getting your video demonetized in any way, shape, or form. Anyway, no, they're never going to just censor outright words. That's ridiculous and ludicrous. Do I feel there should be more protection against me from malicious detractors? There should be more protection against people who literally defame you and make shit up without evidence. You know? There's just too much of that. There's too many people who go out there and make these drama videos that are completely untrue. Actual clickbait statements that are fake. That should not be allowed on YouTube, but they allow it. Their attitude is, oh well, sue them. Like everyone who makes content on YouTube is a millionaire who could just sue people willy-nilly when they lie about them on the site, right? It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad that they allow that, and it's all over the place. The negative video about someone outright will always get more attention than the positive content that someone puts out. And that's a shame, right? That's pretty fucked up. Will I ever play N64 games on the Switch? Only if there were ones that people absolutely wanted to see, and it would be worth re-getting the Nintendo Online membership. Right now, I don't have it. I stopped getting it in the fall because I realized there was zero value added. I wasn't playing any Nintendo games online nor using any of those games off of the service. Coming up, I am thinking of doing some games such as Zelda Link to the Past and or Earthbound, in which case I would get the service again. And I haven't even looked at the N64 because isn't the N64 another tier of expensiveness? So only if there were games on there people wanted, but I don't really know. I've played a lot of N64 games over the years, so I don't know if there'd be anything on there people wanted to see. Jasper is in here all the time when the camera's off. Because someone's saying, since Jasper doesn't come in the office when you're recording, can you leave the door open for him? The moment I finish recording, this door opens and he comes in, he jumps in the window. He's in here all the time when the camera's off. Yeah. Any other pertinent questions? Because right now there are none. I got a question that has nothing to do with me or anything. I don't even know what the fuck it means. A question about my wife that I'm not going to answer. It's like dumb shit. Any other intelligent questions? Questions about the tractors and shit. Like, you know I'm not going to answer those. You're wasting your breath. You're just being stupid. What is the game I'm looking forward to the most in the summer? There are no games in the summer. New releases, that is. There's not even any new releases until late, well, actually, I think it's mid-August. There's literally not a single release date for July yet. 2 Point Campus is August 9th. Saints Row is August 23rd, and then it's the fall. So I would say, honestly, nothing right now. We need more. We need absolutely more game announcements. And there just have not been many or any as of late. Am I going to play MLB The Show? I might. It's always an option. It's an option of something that I can do as a chill stream. I'm not in any rush to play it or anything, but yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to end with this. I'm going to end the pre-stream with this. The pre-stream podcast, that is. So here's the deal. I have plans to play several kind of retro throwback style playthroughs over the course of the next few months. Why? Because there's not a ton of new releases coming out. Now, that could change. We do have digital events coming out soon that are going to announce new games and new release timing, okay? There is possibility. There may be tons of new games coming out that we're not aware of. June, in particular, has a good mix. Starts around the 10th, and then it slows down, then it gets really good near the end of the month, okay? Why am I addressing this right now? Because since there's almost no new releases coming out soon, I'm doing a lot of dead downtime stuff. A lot of retro stuff, a lot of older playthroughs that I have planned. As I've already stated, we started Mirror's Edge last night. In addition, I'm planning on doing Legend of Zelda Link to the Past or Earthbound or both. I want to do Chrono Trigger, but I haven't found a way to viably do it as of now. People are saying the only way you can really play it is on the 3DS, which I don't even know if my 3DS works with my PC anymore. So I don't think that would really be viable. But anyway, the point I'm making here is I have plans for pretty entertaining things that I'd like to do in the next few months. By the way, it won't only be that. It'll be a balance between other things. I'm a variety streamer. But I need your buy-in. I'll give you an example. Last night, I played Mirror's Edge. It looked gorgeous, by the way. Someone actually did a side-by-side comparison of the original playthrough versus this one. Oh, my God. You want to talk about a visual upgrade? It looks so much better this time around with direct capture. It really does. I'm sure it sounds dramatically better, too, with the better direct capture audio, okay? The attendance last night was great. Seriously. The attendance was really good for a late-night stream in a retro game. The engagement was pretty good. People were talking and liking the stream and everything, and I enjoyed that. The support was almost non-existent. I made $20-something in tips, and I think barely $10 in super chats, no members. It was like one of the slowest streams I've done all year. In fact, it might have actually been the slowest stream, but I wasn't really comparing. We just recently had a really slow stream. I didn't even really want to think about it. It was really bad. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to exaggerate. I'm just going to say it was bad. And it sucks because, you know, this is something that I want to do. I want to play games from the past that I personally enjoyed, and I feel like replaying them now would be a significant improvement over the original playthroughs. Whether it's visuals, whether it's because I'm live streaming, whether it's because I have an interactive audience, for whatever reason. You know, Mirror's Edge is a game that I played in 2008 at a different time. YouTube was different. I was different. My whole method of content creation was very different. And I wanted to re-experience it now with my new live audience here in a whole different format. And I want to keep playing it because it's a short game. It's only about 2 to 3 streams to beat it, okay? But my concern is my first actual stream attempt to play something throwback retro essentially failed when it came to business-wise. You know, visually, looked great. People who attended loved it. Engagement was good. Support, bad. That's not good. That means everything's good except I can't make a living doing it. It sucks, all right? And it would be one thing if I was having a ginormous, big AAA release on the daytime streams. I don't. There's nothing right now. There's no giant other release that's going to off-put a stream that's slow. You see what I'm saying? So right now, I have to try to at least do decently every stream that I'm putting out. So if you like the idea of me doing the retro stuff and having a good time, I'm asking if you could please support it in one way or another. And what that means is, on the live streams, membership, super chats, super stickers, or tips. If you're watching on demand, which many of you are, I mean, that for part 1 of Mirror's Edge had over 1,000 views within a couple of hours. I was like, wow, that's really fast for a retro game. Please, like it. Please leave a comment. Consider a super thanks. In fact, 3 people did. Thank you to the 3 people who left a super thanks on that video last night. I really appreciate that because that will help for the fact that it was such a slow stream. Okay? But the point I'm making here, all right, is that I need your buy-in if you want to truly see variety on these streams. If you want to truly see me be able to have the flexibility to play games from my past that are going to be very enjoyable in different style playthroughs, because these are games that I grew up with playing, and I want to do a fun new playthrough of these with you. If you want to see me replay games that look like shit and make them better and more modern with a live audience, if you want to see anything but just high-profile AAA releases, you do have to support that, all right? Because I think what happens is it does get taken for granted that since Phil does well on his Elden Ring stream or whatever other big stream was good, that the night stream doesn't have to do so good and it's fine. And that's couldn't be further from the case, especially now that I don't have any big AAA release to rely on. I just don't. Don't have anything else bringing in revenue for me. It's going to be WWE and Skyrim on the first streams. It's going to be Mirror's Edge and Halo on the late streams with some Street Fighter. When Mirror's Edge is done, I'm thinking of doing something else retro. It's different now. Okay? So please understand that. And I need your support. All right? I do. I need your support. Please don't take it for granted that everything's great, because I'll be honest, it's not. It's one thing to have one slow stream. Here's my true fear is that I have all this cool stuff planned. I want to play these retro games, and every time I play one, it's basically we're back to the summer of retro 10 years ago. For those who don't know, 10 years ago, I was not a full-time live streamer. I was a YouTuber. I was very much making videos for a YouTube audience that was very fickle. If it wasn't a high-profile, big AAA release, it was hard to get people to pay attention to anything on YouTube. I was kind of the exception because I was the guy that a lot of people watched just play whatever I did. Oh, Phil's playing this. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a look. And there were so many franchises that I never expected people would watch, like Disgaea and shit like that, that was way outside of my comfort zone. Catherine, right? And people loved those playthroughs. So for one summer, I was like, I'm going to do retro stuff from my childhood. I want to play a bunch of games like Super Mario World, Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, Chrono Trigger. And I want to share those meaningful experiences with my audience now that I have one, because these are games that meant a lot to me back in the day, and I feel like if I share that with an audience, it could have a lot more meaning for everyone around the world. People maybe have their eyes open to how awesome these classic games were. And it failed miserably. Viewership tanked during those 2 months that I played those games. I made way less money, and everyone complained constantly, stop playing the games. You got to play AAA games. Why are you not playing the games we want? And I was like, damn. You know, that's kind of unfortunate because I was really hoping that I could open a whole generation's eyes up to games that were meaningful to me and also kind of inspired future generations of games. These are the games that all these ideas came from that went into future iterations of games, right? Now, by the way, I'm not saying that I'm going to be playing a summer of retro where I'm playing all retro games at once. That would literally be career suicide. I'm not stupid. I know I need to balance the things that I do, okay? But what I'm asking from you is buy-in. If you're a true fan of mine, you enjoy every kind of content that I put out, please support the stuff that's not the ultra popular stuff. Come to the late night streams, the chill stuff, and please support it if you can, all right? I'm not asking for anything crazy. I'm not saying go above your means. I'm saying don't take it for granted that the night streams are slow and the day streams are good. We're at a point now where they may not be. This is a Skyrim stream. I'm about to do Skyrim as a daytime stream for the first time in months. It may do poorly, and there's nothing I can do about that. You know, there's no games out right now. I'm not going to buy Evil Dead, play it twice, and drop it because it sucks for my style of content. It's a waste of everybody's time. So let's hope for the best, and please support the old school chill stuff, the throwback stuff, the stuff that we've been talking about for months. People say, Phil, just play what you like, because if you just play what you like, people are going to enjoy it and support it. Well, I played Mirror's Edge last night, and that didn't happen. And that's the point I'm making here today, is that there has to be at least some awareness of what's going on. Maybe now some people will say, oh, okay, I'm going to support those late streams. That sounds good to me. Okay? All right. Thank you. The Archangel 007 tipped $2, said, I've always wanted to see you redo BioShock 2. I remember a glitch where you lost a lot of progress. I felt the glitch weighed heavily on your final opinion. Yeah, that glitch was terrible. It was when the game froze because the Xbox 360 could not handle the graphics that the game was trying to pump out. It just couldn't. If you remember in that scene, I was fighting one of the big daddies, and it was electricity shooting everywhere, and the game just couldn't handle it and crashed. And I lost all my progress because I hadn't manually saved in like 25 minutes. And it didn't autosave during that time frame either. So it does suck in that regard, because you're right. I do feel like it may have really brought down my opinion of the game. At the same time, I don't think that that game held a candle to the original BioShock. You know what the best part of that game was? The multiplayer. BioShock 2 actually had a multiplayer mode, and it was fun and unique and different, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't think the campaign was anywhere near as good as the original game. So, one day I could play BioShock 2 again. It's possible. Oh, by the way, the Archangel is the top tipper of the day. It's possible. I own the HD collection. So I could go back and play the HD collection and play part 2. If I ever wanted to. Or if you guys ever wanted to see me do it. Thank you to the Archangel 007 for the $2 tip. All right. Ladies and gents, it's time to end this pre-stream. It's gone too long. So let's end it. I'm just going to use the restroom very quickly. Not going to be a big break. It'll be like a minute, 2 minutes. And then we jump into Skyrim Anniversary Edition Dragonborn DLC. I'm excited. I'm excited for the Dragonborn DLC. And I hope that you guys will join me in a nice, chill, open world roaming stream today. It should be a great time. Okay? Guys, thank you so very much. And there's a lot of trolls on stream today, which is funny because I'm noticing that the attendance on this pre-stream was actually quite high compared to a normal pre-stream. I'm like, yeah, some idiots came in here to troll, and I banned a bunch of them. So, all right, guys. I'll be right back with Skyrim.